How many times did they actually, her poking Caitlin Clark in the eye? And that really had me thinking, like, damn, how many times did they actually, drop the ball and didn't call stuff against Caitlin? Now, Caitlin got called for a technical for hitting the back of the backboard, but somebody viciously clotheslined her. We're not getting a call for that.
The WNBA refs seem like they're treating the game like a joke. Their calls on Caitlin Clark are ridiculous. One moment she's getting hit hard with no call, and the next, she barely sneezes and gets a technical foul. But the real issue is that they've been caught pushing a certain agenda, and the proof is pretty embarrassing. Get ready, because this is about to be revealed.
They need to be investigated ASAP. We see what's happening with Caitlin Clark. There's no reason you shouldn't be protecting your star player, because without Caitlin Clark, there won't be no sold-out arenas.
The WNBA refs thought they could get away with what they did last season, thinking no one would notice how they treated Caitlin Clark like she was just a regular player while everyone else got superstar calls. They were quick to call fouls if someone even glanced at other players the wrong way, but when it came to Caitlin, she could be tackled, tripped, or knocked down, and the refs would just watch like it was a play on stage.
I don't want to see none of the calls being missed like we seen last year, bro. These referees have to get it together. Now, we know the Indiana Fever front office did everything they had to do, put the right pieces around Caitlin Clark, make sure they make it far in the playoffs, and possibly get a WNBA championship. Well, that part is done. We got a new team. We got a new coach. They got everything they need to do to take off for the 2025 season. The only thing left is these WNBA referees. This need to be talked about, just like it was supposed to be talked about at the conclusion of that season. And I'm back on a bumper, bro. I am not letting up on them damn WNBA referees, because they are the biggest haters.
It was like the refs had a secret guide on how not to call fouls on Caitlin Clark. Her opponents would be pulling off WWE-style moves on her, and the refs would just ignore it, like she'd be okay. But if Caitlin even got close to another player, boom, whistle, technical foul, free throws. It was like breathing near an opponent became a flagrant foul.
Offensive fouls are definitely surprising at times. I feel like I do get held.
She sold this flop perfectly. I got to tip my hat to it. Had her hand on her chest. Most people who flop, they always do the little face thing. She sold it perfectly. I got to give it to her. Here's like a play from a different game. Watch Caitlin's reaction.
Excuse me, they got it on Caitlin Clark.
She wanted to really call out the ref.
There were games where Caitlin got hit so hard, it looked like she was trying out for a stunt double in an action movie. Arms flying, bodies hitting the floor, defenders treating her like a bumper car. But the refs, they were just watching the Jumbotron, acting like it was all part of good defense.
The viewership on TV would not be like it is now, where everybody's watching it because it's must-watch TV. But we are seeing how she's being treated. She's being pushed around. She's being slapped around. Sometimes she's being punched around. And the fouls just keep getting harder and harder.
Let's talk about consistency, or rather, the complete lack of it. One game, a defender can hip-check Caitlin so hard it looks like she's been sent to another time zone, and there's no call. The next, some random player gets their shoelace stepped on, and the refs are rushing in like lifeguards at a pool, blowing their whistles. The double standard was crazier than a rookie trying to guard a veteran in the post. And the best part, the refs never bothered to explain anything.
You have to be great as a ref. You have to be consistent. You have to. It can't be inconsistent. It can't be AAU refs.
No accountability, no recognition, just pure gaslighting. Caitlin would get hit harder than a quarterback in the pocket, stand up looking for a call, and the refs would be halfway down the court acting like they didn't hear anything. At this point, she might need a body cam just to have some proof. And let's not forget the time she got called for offensive fouls just for existing, dribbling, cutting through the lane, or even just looking at the basket. It's like the refs woke up every day thinking, how can we make Caitlin Clark question reality today?
The referees and them not calling fouls like this one last night. Let's just check it out. There's going to be a drive down the court here, right? And we've got another clothesline from hell. This time Marina Mabry on Caitlin.
And of course, social media caught everything. The refs might have thought they were being slick, but the internet never forgets. Every missed call, every obvious foul, and every time Caitlin got practically mugged on the court, it was all documented like an episode of a crime show. The WNBA got dragged so hard that even people who didn't watch basketball were asking, how is this legal? The refs were so bad last season, you'd think they were flipping coins at halftime to decide who they'd punish next. And surprise, surprise, Caitlin Clark ended up on the wrong end of the stick more times than anyone could count. These refs weren't just bad, they were on a mission, a secret society of whistleblowers making sure Caitlin never had a peaceful night on the court. But now, the league is investigating them, and it's about time. Let's be honest, half of these refs wouldn't even get hired to officiate a middle school game, and yet they were making calls like they had a personal vendetta against Clark. And the most infamous example, the now legendary eye poke from DJ Carrington.
She's been going through the trenches this year. They've definitely been,
But you see how the hand starts out like this, and then she goes down and says, I'm poking this bitch in the eye. Let's see you make a 3-pointer with one eye,
But, again, that goes back to that. If you want to be the greatest, you got to deal with the hate and the haters, and people that are doing dirty shots and trying to take you out. That's normal.
It's what Jordan went through, right? It's what Jordan went through.
For sure.
She had a black.
Ah, yes, the eye poke, a moment so ridiculous it deserves its own Hall of Fame exhibit. DJ Carrington practically shoved her whole hand into Caitlin's face like she was trying to dig out the last Pringle in the can. And what did the refs do? Absolutely nothing. No whistle, no review, not even a hey, maybe don't assault people on live TV. They just let it slide like they'd seen the slowest, most obvious foul in history and decided, hey, we've seen worse. Meanwhile, Caitlin just breathes near a defender, and the refs are blowing their whistles like lifeguards spotting a shark. Illegal screen. Offensive foul. Breathing too hard. Foul. Looking at an opponent the wrong way. Foul. They called everything on her except an actual travel, which, let's be honest, is ironic since half the league treats the rulebook like a bedtime story they stopped reading in 6th grade. Now, the league is finally investigating? You mean to tell me someone finally realized, hey, maybe our refs shouldn't be officiating like they have a personal vendetta against a rookie? Maybe someone in the WNBA office actually watched the games and thought, this seems a little suspicious.
For example, what really made me start thinking about this was the DJ Carrington situation. Yesterday, I did a DJ Carrington video kind of breaking down that whole thing, technical on that. They didn't call nothing on that for her poking Caitlin Clark in the eye, and that really had me thinking like, damn, how many times did they actually